All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Remote Sales Nation Live. My name is Micah Vu, and we are here in the brand new Remote Sales Nation and Glencoco studios. So welcome, and a round of applause from, where's Chat? Chat, give us a round of applause. Let's see something. All right, great. Well, for those of you who don't know, I'll give a quick intro. My name is Micah Vu. I was the #1 rep on the Glencoco marketplace out of 30,000 for 2024 and for the first half of 2025. And Glencoco think of Glencoco as the Uber for sales. So sales reps can sign on a contract basis and basically hunt for bounties that these companies put out to generate sales qualified meetings. And then RSN, so I know there's a bit of moving parts here. RSN is a sales training community specifically designed for Glencoco reps for success on the platform, but we also help other reps, other SDRs in their cold call journey as well. So welcome, and it's an exciting time to be a part of the ecosystem here, and I'm excited to have y'all with us on this journey. So we got a few folks here in the office, and it's really sad. We're already outgrowing this place, and this is like the first live production that we've done. But we've got 4 office studios in the back here, and now I'm blurry. And also, we don't have $1 million production team. So if there's tech difficulties, bear with us. I started live streaming my cold calls in my RV a couple of years back, and back when I had no one on the live stream. So it's just me. Taught myself everything, and we grew to another office space, outgrew that one, grew into this one, just about to explode in this one. So it's been a really exciting time. But without further ado, I'm going to kick us off on the grand launch. We have one of our top reps on the Glencoco marketplace, and one of the OG members at RSN. She's fine. We got Sally here in the office. Who gave me the mic? Who gave me the stage? We can do whatever we want here. This is our house. So, yeah, this is not Fox News. So sorry if you're here for some super polished professional broadcasts. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. But you should see the lights. We have like garbage bags on the. Anyways, okay. So to kick off our grand launch, we've got one of our top reps who drove in here. Absolute killer. Started with us when we were basically just getting started. We had no members at all. So, and he's had tremendous success on the Glencoco platform, and ultimately landed a job with a Glencoco client. And he's I think you're the top producer there, no? Basically. So, but anyways, please give a warm welcome for Joseph Williams. My man. How are you?
Good. Very, man, it's been a long time coming. But went very quickly. Really happy to be here. And like Michael was saying, from the infancy of seeing this as one of the, first reps, I want to say maybe the 3rd or 4th rep on RSN, or, maybe within the 10, seeing you, doing your live, maybe there's 3 viewers, right? Seeing that come into fruition where we're here in, like you said, your home base, right? Here at the office, it's just been awesome. And to be a part of it has been a real journey, to say the least. But yeah, really happy to be here.
Yeah, man. It's so cool to see how we've grown, and we've got members all over the world who all share a same passion for sales. And specifically cold calling, and are not afraid to pick up the phones and get rejected and put in the work. So
Absolutely.
It's great to have you on this journey, man. So I think a good place to start would be maybe tell us a little bit about your background in sales, maybe how you found Glencoco, how you found us, and
Sure.
What you're up to nowadays.
Yeah, it's man, sales as a whole has been a journey for me. We were talking about it a little bit earlier in the office here. My infancy in sales was, I was coming from having the idea that I was going to be a professional basketball player overseas. My body just didn't check out. If anybody knows Brandon Roy, I'm from the Northwest, the Portland Trailblazers back in the day, championship, amazing all-star player. I basically have the same thing happening in my knees. So I have water in my knees. So when I dealt with that, I needed to find a route that was going to make sense for me. And I didn't necessarily know what that was. I was in school to play basketball, literally, and I got the good grades so I can be on the court. It all started with door to door for me. And door to door, you talk about rejection. I think I learned very quickly that at first it was brutal. I didn't know how to handle rejection, but there's this like speed bump that you get over, and it's literally a speed bump. But once you hit it, you get over it, and then it's smooth sailing. And then every bump after that becomes smaller and smaller. And I think I learned that fairly quickly. Kind of being spoiled, starting in door to door. I know there's a lot of RSN folks as well that kind of got through that model as well. And I think you learn a lot in understanding the rejection, but also the repetition, the consistency, just having overall grit, especially when you're out there in the hot Phoenix sun, getting attacked by dogs. So was
Was that your turf? Were you knocking out here?
I knocked in Phoenix a little bit, mostly Sacramento, California, a lot of like SoCal as well, just kind of up and down California. I knocked a little bit in Seattle, where I'm from, back home. I think one summer in Phoenix, but after that summer in Phoenix, I wasn't ever going to do it again.
Yeah.
But to kind of like seal, that was the start in my sales career. And I kind of went through a lot of different patterns of different types of sales. I got recruited out of door actually to sell cars, like get into the car business, which it was good while it lasted. There was good money involved. I also didn't have any type of life and was in the office 24/7, it felt like. And I was able to climb up into like an upper management position, but I found out very quickly like this wasn't for me. I wasn't passionate behind it. And I wanted to have more balance in my life. So continued to move, found like more remote sales with a company called Sunrun, where I was selling solar, doing a little bit of door to door, but mostly remote. And I think this is right after like COVID's happening. So people are getting back into, or getting into rather, being able to work from home, work from, remotely. And I did that for about 2 years. I always had a goal to move overseas, and live somewhere out of the country. And I got to do that. And that's now where we get into the Glencoco side. It's actually a funny story how I found Glencoco. So I was just having like a random dinner conversation with my girlfriend at the time. And I was like, man, I wish there was something where I could not only work remote, have it a little bit more balance, but also be able to just kind of work fractionally, so to speak, right? Be able to like own my own time, not like slack off and just like do whatever I want when I wanted, but to own my time. That's really what I wanted to do. I was like, I wish, and this is right around the time too. I was in Costa Rica. I was working for like a high ticket sales agency as a BDR. I honestly didn't even know what an SDR was. I come from just full cycle sales, door to door, and then car sales. So like the closing aspect of deals is where I came from. When I found out about SDR, I found a passion for it right away, because I got excited about creating a deal out of nothing, right? And I was talking to her about, because the position I was in, it just wasn't very fruitful for me. And I was just like, I wish there was like a platform where I could just work on my own time, maybe not be structured to an upper management or a boss. And I was actually scrolling through TikTok probably 2 days after that. Of all play. And I'm one of those people that I'm going to utilize TikTok because the algorithm is you, right? It's how you're thinking. The algorithm's going to show up to who you are and what you're paying attention to. So there's a lot of business and just like sales stuff on there. And I came across like a TikTok video of Glencoco. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I was just talking to my girlfriend about this. And I got onto the platform right away. And then right when I got onto the platform, my mindset, and just really in anything in life, like I needed to find a mentor. I needed to find some style of coaching so I could really ingrain myself into this new flow of sales that I wasn't typically used to. And I wanted to find some mentorship. And I think I got an email shortly after being on Glencoco, probably for like a month. I was calling on one of the clients, one of the business broker campaigns, and I was doing fairly well. I think the moment I realized you can set a meeting and make $500 to $1,000 kind of blew my mind, especially coming from a closing aspect of sales. But I got an email about RSN, and again, I was already thinking about some type of mentorship. It made sense. I literally signed up the moment I seen the email, like on my phone, and then booked a meeting with you. And yeah, the rest is history, man. I've had a lot of good success through Glencoco, and I'm sure we'll get into, what I'm doing now with one of the clients as well, as a BDR, but also doing some BDR management. Flying out around the United States and doing a lot of conferences in person and kind of utilizing that skill set. But I say that to say all this came from RSN and everything I learned here. Yeah, obviously I have a sales career and that adds to it. But and we talked about this earlier. This was the first time where I really found passion behind what I was doing, and I knew I was in the right community at the right time, learning from the best, man. I would say.
Yeah, a little bit of fate, a little bit of destiny.
Yeah,
There's so much to unpack there. I
sure.
guess the first place we could start is obviously you had some sales experience beforehand. It's a completely different model on Glencoco than I think what most folks are like sales folks are used to, where they're dialing, or just selling one product, one service on behalf of one company, talking to one persona. But in this gig, in this role, it's like you said, it's fractional. Fractional is kind of the hot word, the buzzword right now. Go fractional, right? And we really are in the golden age of fractionality, where you're seeing a max exodus of like IT professionals, finance professionals, and now sales professionals who realize they can go into business for themselves and make much more money, and leverage up their time much more effectively, because it's just the way businesses are run today. Businesses want to get scrappier, companies want to get scrappier, and so the only way to get the income that you're striving for, if you got big goals, is to work for multiple companies if you're really, really good at what you do. So I guess my question to you is, what would you say was like the biggest shift from like your previous sales experience leading into this Coco role?
Yeah, awesome question. I think the biggest shift was really learning how to own your time. You talk about like just business in general, to be successful. What are businesses doing? They're working with other businesses, right? And I think the fractional model kind of is that first like introduction into being your own business, being your own boss in a lot of ways. And I feel like that was the major shift, is like, how do I own my time, especially when maybe, I'm coming from a sales career where there's a manager, there's people telling you what you should do, when you should do it, and following sort of a framework. I think that was really the major shift, is understanding how to own my time, how to stay consistent. And I'm kind of spoiled too in being an athlete, because a lot of that same framework and I guess like ability to focus on said goal every single day, whether you don't want to do it or you do. Like there's going to be down days or up days, but it was really about the finding what is consistent and what consistency actually means. Because at first I felt like, oh, this is hard work. I'm getting rejected over and over and over. I think the major shift mentally is what changed everything for me. Not only being able to, tap in with you guys here at RSN and learn from folks that were doing it. And I think that's one of the most important parts of my journey, was finding mentorship in you guys, and say, okay, this works. Why reinvent the wheel? But then creating my own structure of consistency to that.
I mean, there's a ton of gurus out there
Yeah.
that give so much sale. I mean, you can find infinite amount of sales stuff for
Yeah.
free, right? And I would say there's plenty of sales guys and gals that are way better than me, way better than what we do here. Talk about the Grant Cardones, the Andy Elliott's, the Jeremy Miners. But I guess what was something different? I mean, instead of just getting the free stuff online, why join? Why start paying a monthly subscription or anything for what we do here? What did you find?
Results. Results. Not only obviously my results, but one major thing that I noticed right away from watching you doing your live streams and a lot of the other folks in the community is like, oh, it's not just this one guy that's a persona that's winning. That's actually trickling down within the community, and people are making real money in not much time, and that was appealing at the time. Obviously, I'm living in Costa Rica in the jungle. I was able to do a lot of things in my personal life out there while getting back to the dialer and finding more passion in that. But yeah, to answer your question, it was really just the ability to see real actionable results. And there was I was able to follow it. I knew that not only could I take in all this knowledge, it's there for me. Don't have to reinvent the wheel, but if I followed it, then I was getting results. And I think that was the major difference because, yeah, there's a lot of gurus out there. Maybe they're just that one persona and you don't see a lot of their community. I mean, I don't know much about them, right? But maybe you don't see a lot of the community winning. Here it wasn't just about you or Connor or Caven or any of the guys here. It was really about the fullness in community. And it's like, hey, how can we all win at this? And obviously here we are in the physical RSN office where, guys are back there winning right now. Someone probably set a meeting and made $1,000 while we're doing this call or this talk. Right. So,
yeah. I think to your point, you got to figure out, I think the challenge for us was like, at least early in my career, I never saw myself as like a gift of gab kind of guy. Like my first sales book I ever read was Sell or Be Sold. So I was like, oh, wow, this is the gold standard, right? Grant's the gold standard for sales. And it's like, that is the sales persona. And so I always struggled with this idea of like, oh man, dude, I gotta turn into something I'm not, and just be overtly charismatic. And so when, to your point, I also got pretty fortunate with like the mentors in my life. Shout out to, Robert Vera, Corey Frank, Oren Claff, Chris Beal, a lot of titans in the space, especially in our, very specific sales world. And they really taught me a methodology that's scalable. Like anyone can adopt it. And I think our community is proof of that, right? You see people from all walks of life, all age brackets, all ethnicities that aren't afraid to pick up the phones and can adopt this style. So you don't have to be like, you listen to some of my pitches, almost like anti-enthusiastic, right?
Absolutely.
Almost like, don't want to, want to kill myself in some days. And sometimes I feel like that, but guess what? Like, that's just how people naturally converse.
Yeah.
And you can't, especially over the phones, you're an invisible stranger, so you can't spook them. So you have to be almost like, you have to portray yourself in a way that they almost like lean in and like, wait, who is this? Generate that curiosity. So I think that's what you're describing is what we do really well at RSN is like, again, we got Kevin Tran in the house, who's, a student at ASU. We got Nelson here, who came from life insurance. So everyone's got different degrees of sales ability and background. And I think it's really cool to see, the successes. I would say, on the platform, folks typically are making anywhere from like, 5 to 8K on a part-time basis, contract basis. But I guess for you, what was sort of like, what are the successes that you've had? What kind of income have you realized working for the clients and doing the thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, being in Costa Rica, again, I was working for a high ticket agency full time. I was working like probably 45 hours, like a full-time schedule a week for somebody else. But I was like trying to inch into working Glencoco as much as possible on the side, really part-time. I'd probably say maybe like 5 to 8 hours a week at the time. And this is probably close to like 9 months ago now is when I started. So, or maybe even more, like 9 or 10 months. But while working that time frame of being full-time and realizing like, hey, I can put in 5 hours. And I think the major shift for me was, I think my first like $800 deal through the platform. Because at first I'm calling more like business broker clients. The pay was anywhere from like $300 to $500 per qualified meeting, which is great. I mean, that's great money, right? For setting a qualified meeting on a call. But when I first hit like that $800 to $1,000 meeting, it really clicked like, oh shoot, I need to shift my time. So I started putting in more time. And I think one of the best months that I had strictly Glencoco early on, and this was probably within the first 3 months of calling. It took me some time to really kind of gain traction and momentum because I was going through a lot of the rejection and figuring it out and following the frameworks that you guys have laid out. At first, I did want to try to reinvent the wheel because I came with the mentality of like, oh, I've done sales before. Like, yeah, it's there, but I know how to do this. That didn't work, right? So I had to tap in and follow a framework that actually worked. But one of my best months, I think, in Glencoco was around 8K. Now, and we'll get into it, but now working internally for a client from Glencoco, I had a month, I think I struck like 16 grand. And that's some of the best money that I've personally made. And again, we're talking about from cold calling, right? We're talking about working where I want, when I want, and how I want in a lot of ways, and working fractionally, like the buzzword we're talking about here. But that was the first time that I realized, like, remotely as well, I can make a lot more money that I even fathomed getting involved. At first it was like, oh yeah, cool, I can make an extra 1,000, 2,000 a month. That doubled and then tripled and quadrupled from there. So
That's great, man. That's great. And all from the Glencoco opportunity.
yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, part of Glencoco's offer is companies can use Glencoco to de-risk their talent pipeline. So if you're a B2B company out there that's looking for more, sales talent, Glencoco is a great way to basically source and try before you buy reps on the platform, and kind of teach them that way on a pay per performance basis. So we have a lot of companies that do that. So, and Joseph is a product of the product. So congrats on getting the role there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a lovely journey, and again, I wouldn't been able to really land this if I didn't tap into all the knowledge that's there in RSN. To be honest, like I like the moment I got hired from them too, I've been putting RSN on the map like as quickly as possible, and because it's working. It's not just my results. There's a lot of results within the community, and yeah, it works if you work it, and the knowledge is all there. I always tell folks that are maybe getting started on RSN or Glencoco as a whole, like, find yourself a mentor, and RSN is there to provide it. And if you follow it, you really work it, you stay consistent, and you stay in that mental pattern of like, hey, like Micah, the top rep on Glencoco, is saying, hey, there's days where I don't want to do this. I'm feeling terrible. I don't want to be on the phone dialing. But then you strike a deal, and then how do you feel after that? You know what I mean? You're just
You get that. It's like the slot machine.
Yeah.
You get the dopamine rush.
Yeah, and I would say, like, you get excited, but it's that balance. Like, if you show up every day, you're gonna make some money on the platform, and you're gonna have success. And if you don't, hey, then tomorrow you can hit a $1,000 deal, right? Yeah. So I think RSN has been a big part of this. And if it was just myself on Glencoco, I'm sure I would find success just being who I am. But everything is really laid out for you through what you guys are doing here.
Yeah, it's also whether you want to spend 2 years kind of getting there, or 2 months. To
Exactly.
your point, 2 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's much else to say on that front. Obviously, you've been doing really well. I don't know. We probably shouldn't talk about the other saucy stuff on the agency side. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But we gotta go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off.
Want to talk about it.
Yeah, we won't talk about it here, but yeah, it's just I guess to put to pin on that is there's a lot more opportunity. Glencoco and RSN as a whole is going to give you what you want out of it, whether it's following in my footsteps, you want to land a client job and work for a client that makes sense for you in the B2B world, or if you want to just continue to call and make a lot of money fractionally, or if you want to own an LGA and do it not even independently,
what's a LGA?
Yeah, so like a lead gen agency, a lead gen model where I'll let you answer that.
Okay. I should probably answer. I'm putting you on the spot. So this is actually a fundamental recent shift in the Glencoco model, where traditionally it's been one client posting out bounties for a whole bunch of individual contributors. But now what we've realized is Glencoco actually has like a phenomenal technology and tech stack for agencies that cold call and cold email. So everything from the dialer, the CRM, the AI co-pilot that's feeding reps, exactly what to say. Reps never have to guess what to say because the AI is listening to the calls and it'll give them a response. To automatic Stripe payouts, all integrated, calendars integrated, customer dashboards that give full transparency and visibility. Like the list goes on, but it's so well tuned exactly for agencies that cold call. And we're seeing, again, this mass exodus of like reps, even individual sales reps who want to go fractional, go independent. It's really well positioned for them. And we have actually quite a few agency owners in office now, about 3 of them, cave in over at Exodus. There's a case study out there he'll do 60 to 70K in monthly contracts as an individual business owner, all on top of the Glencoco platform. And so it's a really exciting opportunity to go fractional and to learn a skill set that's pretty indispensable. Like people are always going to need human connection. And if you can do that for as many people as possible, leverage the tech and the talent, it's a no-brainer for a lot of reps that are trying to make more income. I will mention one thing. So for anyone who's like new to the Glencoco ecosystem, the RSN ecosystem, these companies are putting out bounties just for reps like Joseph and I to book the meeting. So you don't even have to close the deal. They just have to show up and then meet some basic qualification parameters, ICP, ideal customer profile parameters. The reason why these companies are able to pay out $500, $600, $1,000, $2,000 per qualified meeting is because the sale sizes are so large. So if we're selling, for example, a cybersecurity solution for like an enterprise solution, that could be $100,000 deal, a $500,000 deal, upwards of $1 million. So the units of economics make sense for them to pay a measly $1,000 because they know if they talk to 10 people, they're going to get a huge ROI on that on that spend. And we're getting really, really close to a pay per pipeline kind of just standard across the board. Like companies are just like, wait, I can just pay for pipeline and I get deals like in the door. Like I'm doing that all day. And so that's sort of that. It's definitely a 2025 business. There's no way, I don't think Glencoco could have started this a decade ago. I don't think the timing would have been off, maybe not even 5 years ago. But with the transition to the market being comfortable with remote work, to the layoffs, the tech layoffs, to reps wanting to go more fractional and go into business for themselves, we're seeing this like spirit of entrepreneurship start to blossom very, very heavily, especially in our generation. Yeah. Right? We're up and coming, and it's just like the perfect kind of storm to where we're capturing a huge market. I mean, I probably shouldn't say the logos until until maybe, I don't know, we got some investors watching here, but we got some pretty big logos in the pipe, and actually that closed. I want to say, see now this is public, so I have a terrible habit. I'm always yapping, and I'm always saying stuff I shouldn't be saying, but I do it in the community because I know it's like in the four walls. As soon as it goes public, I gotta watch my mouth.
Yeah,
but yeah. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting to echo a lot of what you said too. We live in this, like for our generation, with so much AI coming into the picture. Glencoco does a really good job in utilizing AI, and for the BDRs, like you said, like human connection, I feel like is not going anywhere. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, where AI rolls in. What is the first thing that humans are going to want to desire? It's going back to having that real human connection, especially in sales, because are you going to trust a robot? Maybe for a little bit, but Glencoco does a really good job in utilizing so much AI into their platform and integrating all that, where you can just show up and focus on selling. And I think that's the big part of it. I don't have to go do all these other things. The platform is doing so much of the kind of like, I guess, grit work, the extra like manual, like research and all this other stuff that I would say in the past as a BDR or a SDR, those are the top dogs that are, making good money. Now it's like Glencoco has all that in front of you, where it's right in front of your screen. You're on a call. You're able to leverage so many things in front of you to get the deal or to get the win, or, follow up with that individual, whatever you need to do. But it's all kind of manual, or it's automatically doing it through the platform, and you get to focus on selling and calling and dialing. And that's the moneymaker. So yeah, to echo a lot of what you were saying.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I kind of want to go down the route of like, what's your long-term vision? Like, what are you trying to accomplish in this lifetime? And, how do you see yourself kind of stepping into what you're meant to do?
Absolutely. I love that question. Yeah, because, in a lot of ways I see where I'm at now as a BDR and everything that we're doing and accomplishing here at RSN as kind of the the platform to get me to my higher goals, right? And my end in mind is really right now, I'm very, very happy and excited what I'm doing with one of the clients. Again, the job that I landed, I'm able to get in early at a company that's rising very quickly and doing a lot of good work in um, uh, the government and education space, so SLED, state local government education. So being in this model and understanding and seeing everything internally is a big push for my sales career. And again, I wake up every day very excited about that. I think if we're talking long term, I definitely want to ride out with this company as long as they'll let me, because I love where I'm at currently. But thereafter, the lead gen model that we've been talking about is really the thing that excites me the most, because we started this conversation, me kind of sharing about having that passion behind owning my time, and being in more of an independent space where not only do I get fulfillment from my wins, but that can trickle down and I can pass that down to my team, my reps, and create. We were talking about the San Diego hub a little bit earlier off camera, creating these hubs for RSN and Glencoco as well, obviously, where folks have different hubs, different offices like this, and different areas. I see that big vision as well, and I think that's what I'm excited about, and learning both from what you guys are doing and being internal, and I'm getting so much skill set from all of that, understanding more on not only the cold calling model, but being at so many conferences around the states, and having those business communication skill set as well, which is also very cool. Kind of sidestep, and I'll get right back into it, is like at these conferences in person, from the communication that I learned from your guys' framework from cold calling, that works in person as well. You switch a few things up, but the way we set meetings here, it works. And that's really exciting to just step into my own independent route. I don't know how long that looks or how long that takes, but that's really going to be the next step for me, is going the independent route, having my own teams. San Diego hub is on the horizon for me, for sure.
Yeah.
And then thereafter, it really always has been about business. I do a lot of stuff with music and like a clothing brand that I'm starting. So this is really just a platform to everything that I want to accomplish in my life. And it's cool that it all starts. I think you say this a lot on the stream, is like it all starts with that cold call, man.
Yeah.
It all starts with a cold call. So
That's it. I remember conversations with good mentor of mine, Corey Frank, and there was always this argument of like remote versus in person, right? For sales specifically. Do remote teams get as much done and are as effective and productive, and retention rates are higher, job satisfaction rates are higher if they're remote versus in office? And that was like very not controversial, but like there wasn't like a consensus, because it's also dependent on like person to person. But I think especially if like cold calling is a part of your motion, like your outbound motion, it's a team sport. It really is. Like, it's brutal. I remember like early on when I was working on the platform, running calls out of my RV. I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like, as good as maybe I think I'm pretty decent at cold calling. I'm like, this is awful. This is brutal. I'm on Micah Island here, and I'm like thinking like, how many other people are out there that are on Joseph Island, that are on Nelson Island, that are on Connor Island, that are in, Colin and Connor. We got Colin and Connor in here. How many people are just on an island of like, nothingness? And it's like, you don't know what the standard is. You don't know what good looks like. You don't know what good should feel like. And so that's really almost all of this was created selfishly, because I'm like, I need the homies.
Yeah.
I need to throw in with the team. I'm so used to like an in-person sales culture. So, and I think the next iteration of it is connecting those hubs of excellence, right? So to elaborate on kind of what Joseph was saying about like starting the San Diego, hub of sales excellence, right? If you can connect those tribes together and take a peek in, and people can see what other people are doing. This space there's a lot of, it's kind of pretentious in this space. Like, everyone's like, you need to do sales this way. You need to do sales that way. If you do this methodology, you lose all status. If you do that methodology, lose my number. And then like everyone's kind of like segmented, but I just see a world where not like, it sounds cliche, like come together, but basically um, you can get mutually aligned if you have sort of like the back office like Glencoco, right? And for any agency owners out there, if you're thinking about starting your own cold calling agency, outbound sales agency, marketing agency, or you're an existing one, it's not very sellable. It's great profit, great cash flow a lot of times, but it's not very sellable unless you have like IP and tech built into it. So what Glencoco allows is to basically be the back office and RevOps, like, and these guys are like, ex Meta, ex Apple engineers from MIT, Stanford, and Berkeley, Wiz, and they're just wicked smart, and they're straight up just building tech for agencies at this point. And it's pretty incredible what they built so far. So if you guys want a sneak peek, hit me up, shoot me a message. But what happens when you have a consistent back office with other agencies or other, just like sales shops, is now there's consistency. And now, when someone wants to buy it out, you just sell it to the next, Coco agency, or Glencoco might just buy you out. So it's the LPL. The way I describe it, it's like what LPL did for sort of investment infrastructure, where you can go to them directly as like an individual investor, but they're really meant for financial advisors that have their own like books of business, right? So great infrastructure for financial advisors versus the Vanguard model, which is the retail investor, like individuals. And that's really Glencoco's sweet spot right now. The last thing I'll mention is it's sort of like the early days of Uber for sales agencies. So like back in the day, Uber would pay a ridiculous amount to get fleets of, say, if you have a fleet of like Suburbans, like a limousine business or something, taxi service, you're getting in early as like an Uber Black fleet, essentially. And so Uber was giving out like ridiculous spiffs because they didn't care about the profit margins. They were obviously VC backed. They had a bunch of capital behind them. Same thing with Glencoco. So it's all about the GMV and transaction volume on the platform, not necessarily about the margins. So with that, the guys like, again, Caven, Hunter, Josh Gawana, and some of the other ones, we got several working on the platform. All are getting great deals where we're making sure that they preserve their margins first, and then Glencoco gets their cut, because we need to basically figure this thing out. But obviously we've had pretty good success, and any campaign that you're calling on within the platform owned by an LGA, a lead gen agency, is going to pay you out more frequently and at higher rates. So we're seeing really good success on that front as well.
Yeah, I like what you said. I mean, I like everything you just said. But it may sound cliche about like coming together, but I think as a whole and as a generation, as we see like this major shift within how we sell, and even going the independent route, or being fractional, I think what ties that all together is community. And I think we're going from maybe like there's going to be companies, there's going to be clients, but if you're going the independent, more so on the fractional side, like that's what drives everything. That's what drives your talent. That's what drives like new understandings, and knowing how to flow through the market is going to be the community that you attach yourself to in a lot of ways. So coming together, yeah, it may sound cliche, but it's very real. And I attest community to where I've ended up. I'm sure you guys can too as well in your mentorships. So I think it's a trickle down effect of like being able to, within all this shift, find a community that that works for you, follow the right mentors, and you won't feel like you're on an island, right? Community is going to make sure that if you're down, you can get pulled back up and find success too. So
yeah. May the best man win.
Yeah. Dog eat dog.
Dog eat dog.
Yeah.
I love it though, because it's like let's compete. I think cold calling is one of the most athletic parts of the sales process, where you have to run tight plays over and over and over again, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to be sharp on your feet, and really locked in. And so I think that transfer of like knowledge and wisdom in our space, we don't hold anything back in RSN, right? And I think even through some of our YouTube content, we get a lot of folks reaching out saying, look, dude, like I've never seen anything like what you guys are doing, right? A lot of gurus out there telling you, do this method, do that, say this, say that, but no one's actually showing like what it looks like to, close these deals. And it's hard. It's hard to like showcase real live calls because of the compliance and all that. But we found a way, right? We found a way to be able to showcase that. And I think, like you said, the results speak for themselves. But now people can see like, okay, this is what's possible. You can make $500,000 just for booking, a measly sales meeting. And Glencoco gives you all the data, they give you the tools. Like you don't have to. There's no upfront investment. Versus like Nelson came from the life insurance space, where you have to get your certifications. Like if your shop doesn't sponsor it, then you gotta front that cash yourself, and that takes time. You got to purchase your own leads. That costs a lot. So by the time you could be in the hole in a gig like that. And then there's clawbacks, right? There's clawbacks. Not to say there's not uglies in our job, right? But I think it's a really great starting place and a great place for growth for people who are already aspiring, already on their way up, and you can make some serious dough, in this business model.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. All right. Well, this is a live session, so we actually have folks in the chat. I'm usually speaking to chat all day.
Yeah, what's chat saying?
Let's see what chat's saying. While Soup's pulling that up, I could close with this, but I did want to give you a gift, Joseph.
Oh, nice.
So
I like gifts.
We got zoom in on this one. We'll just show the people. As far as we only have this camera, so this is all you get to see. But this book's called The Archer. It's by Paulo Coelho, and when we first started RSN, all the founding members read this book when we kicked off this community. And we talk a lot about the craft of sales, right? The art form of sales and the practice that it takes to really master, what it is that you do. And so I thought it was just really fitting because, we're all about the craft here. And it spoke to all of us to like, okay, we're on the journey of, mastery in what we're doing here. So I wanted to give this to you.
Man, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. This is really cool for me too, because one of my favorite books of all time is actually The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. So it's an interesting moment. I'm getting the chills right now. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. Should we do like a question and answer? Do we have time for like a question and answer from the squad that's watching here?
Yeah. So if you guys have any questions for Joseph, drop them in the chat. I think we're on a couple different platforms here. But Soup, what do we got?
We got, let's see. We got a lot of comments from a lot of good folks here.
Okay.
Some handsome men right there.
Who said that? Christian said
shout
some
out
handsome
Christian.
Men. Hey, shout out to Christian.
We got Mike Largo saying the champion spirit.
Ooh.
Mike Largo with the champion spirit. Okay. Soup. If you click on it, it'll actually pop up on screen.
Oh.
Click on their like profile picture. On their click. There it is. And then you can move it around if you want.
Gotcha.
Okay, go ahead. Read it off. What does it say?
Hope the Uber payments won't go down year over year, just like Uber.
It will. So get in now. Get in while the iron's hot, and we're Glencoco's throwing out a ton of incentives to help shape the agency program, and we're in conversations with some pretty heavy hitters in the space. So I won't name any names, but some big time hitters in the cold calling space. So it's a really exciting time to be a part of the ecosystem, and once we're at 100, 1,000, I don't know what the scale is going to look like necessarily, because we're going to have a lot of single member fractional sales reps that want to start their own agencies. But down the road, once we're subscribed, it's like, okay, we now it's time to get, drilled in on the margins for shareholders, right? So better get in while we're still building here.
Michaela is requesting Joseph to talk in a British accent.
Well, I would just want to start this off by, sometimes I like to cold call, and my name is actually Josiah. So when I get on a cold call, it could sound something. First and foremost, I'm from Brixton, so my accent might be a little posh for the typical Brit. But it might start off with, "Oh, hey, John. Oh, hey, John. This is Josiah over here."
That's great. Have you closed a deal with the
I
accent?
have. So funny story. Back in this all started from the car sales days for me, and one of my friends bet me to do a full sale, like open to close, at my desk in a British accent.
Hold on, Soup. You can click on the same comment and it'll take it off. There you go.
And I did that, but yes, I have closed a few meetings in a British accent as Josiah.
Nice, nice.
And you got to have fun with it, right? You got to have fun. Sometimes when you're having fun is when you get the most deals. Obviously, don't try a crazy accent and make the client look bad, but yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, if we got any English folks out there, any Scottish, Irish, um, South African, Australian, you guys are on easy mode. It's like for some whatever reason when you call into the North America, like kind of region, people just love the accent.
It
It's
is
just
that, right?
it's just novel.
They
It's
just
novel
cling to it.
in a
Yeah.
good way. Where are you from? You always hear that. Where are you from? Tony
Yeah.
Brophy. Shout out to Tony Brophy. So you guys are on easy mode. Great head start if you wanna make some dough and you're from.
And RSN, I mean, we have people all over the place, right? Like, does it still show the map on the?
It does, yeah. I mean, James Davies, originally from, I want to say London. Tom Hallowell,
Mhm.
he's got the accent. Mahala.
Crazy.
Who else we got? We got a few folks.
Yeah.
Scott Murray back in the day. Shout out to Scott Murray from Scotland. Yeah, we got a great mix. All right, what else? What else we got, Soup?
Well, we got Mike saying maybe we would have the same advantage calling into the UK and or the Australian markets.
I mean, Mahala's in the chat. Do the UK folks like American accents? It's also GDPR. You got to watch out for GDPR. So
Yeah.
there's that
Someone said
piece.
You got a tip. You deserve a tip for that accent.
We got to turn on.
I do have Zell.
We got to turn on the donos. Turn on the donos. All right. Any final comments here?
No, just the tips, and we now know how Tom's crushing it. And then Yuri Black wants to know if this is really live. Yes, sir.
This is really live in the flesh. You want to go to the wide shot? I mean, this is the real deal. I mean, I was ripping live streams with the green screen back in the day. Now we got our own little thing here. So, no, this is real, and we show everything inside RSN. So we do all our live our cold calls, all our sales trainings, everything's live. So we don't gatekeep. I'm a strong advocate for an abundance mindset. So, and I think we live that out in RSN. Like, we share best practices, we share the deals we're working on, we share how much we're making, we share the successes, and I think you need that. I think it's a complete paradigm shift in sales. Sales has traditionally been like, if I tell you what I'm doing, you're going to steal my leads, you're going to steal deals out of my territory, right? And I don't want, like, I need to feed my family, so I can't share that. And I think it's such backwards thinking, because especially with the fractional model, there's just so much business to be made. It's just a huge market. I think Coco did their, like, kind of when they first started the business, they had like a market, like a TAM. What do you call it? Like sizing the TAM, and it's like a $7 billion market between sales training, sales technology, and then actual like talent, sales hiring and all that.
Yeah.
So massive opportunity. And for us at Glencoco and RSN, the more deals that we get on these different campaigns, the more word spreads, the more they tell their friends, the more agencies come on, and the more, at the end of the day, the more reps make much more on the platform. So
yeah, the more sharing that's happening within the community, it really is flipping the model, and I commend RSN on that. It becomes more of a team aspect, right? It's not the dog eat dog sales world anymore. We can really merge communities, and so many networks just happen from that. That when you're sharing, you're getting, like, I love the abundance mindset that you mentioned, because when you're sharing all that, it's coming back to you fruitfully. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
We got another question. We got Mike Largo wants to know how Joseph hit 16K working internally. Did you get more at bats or higher payouts, base pay for all of these?
Yeah, it was a mixture of all of the above, from Glencoco, as well as, I mean, I was working a lot of conferences. I work a lot of conferences. That's why I'm even in Phoenix right now, obviously for this as well. But yeah, it was a mixture of all of it. I would say all of the above. I obviously too. I landed a very good position with a really good salary, right time, right company, as well as obviously the commissions from Glencoco on top of the commissions internally. So it was a mixture of really all three.
Sweet. Soup, any final comments, questions, thoughts?
Nope. Just Diamond saying everyone's got to join RSN.
Join-
Couldn't agree more.
Join RSN. You can find us at skool.com, skool.com/RSN. And right now we rank in the top 0.2% of all school communities on the platform there. And if you don't know, Skool is like Hermosi and Sam Ovens started this thing where basically you can host communities and courses and trainings and whatnot. And so we rank in the top 0.2% in terms of member quality and engagement. Tom Hallowell, one of our members, said he's been a part of so many other like online virtual communities. There's nothing like RSN because we are in there every single day. You see me in there, you see the coaches in there. We have multiple coaches on staff. We're doing live streams every day, co-working sessions. We have the course, we have workshops, trainings. So our philosophy was like, we're going to give so much value in this community, everything possible for success on the phones, that there's no excuse that you can't make it happen on the platform. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that, but we don't guarantee anything because it's on you to actually do the work. And we can't do the work for you, but we can support you in every way, shape, and form, help you triage deals, make sure your deals that are submitted go through. Our word carries a lot of weight on the Glencoco marketplace because we account for really the top 20% of reps on Glencoco. And again, it's a testament to the community aspect where it's like everyone's watching each other win and make money. So there's no self-limiting belief. Like you can't deny it. You can't deny it, right? You see the payouts coming in, and so that's what we do in RSN. And then if you're a fractional sales rep looking, or you have a W-2, you want to make some extra dough, you're good at sales, you want to get into sales, head over to glencoco.com. You can see it. Look at that. I don't even need a pop-up. Glencoco.com. and you can sign up as a fractional SDR. I will say Glencoco's gotten a lot stricter on who they're letting into the platform because there's so high demand, because it is such an incredible opportunity. We're really looking for folks with 3 to 5 years of previous sales experience. If you get waitlisted, which they'll screen your application and all that, you can join RSN, take our starter course, and then we'll fast pass you onto the Glencoco marketplace, and you get exclusive campaigns within RSN that are higher paying, and our reps are like just consistently getting paid out on those. So sign up for RSN and sign up for Glencoco. And then lastly, if you're a sales agency, too many audiences, it's going to confuse people. I just got to stay in your lane, stay in your lane. Maybe we won't even market it to fractional reps anymore. But if you're an agency or thinking about going fractional, and going into business for yourself, Glencoco is your scale partner. Like there's no other way you can see it. And like, trust me, I've been in this business, this very specific business for the last 5 years. Dude, we ran a like $4 or $5 million a year business off of spreadsheets. And like our client dashboards were like spreadsheets. It's like, but we had the salesmanship, we had the actual sauce, which is what we talk about. That's really the good stuff. Now just put a nice technology wrapper on it. And I'll tell you what, Caven's won deals because of the tech, just showcasing the dashboards in action, and people are just blown away. They'll companies are looking to outsource their sales function, especially their top of funnel, like SDR function. Caven's won deals in bake-offs because the client will say, I've talked to probably 3 other LGAs, lead gen agencies, and none of them had what you just showed. Like it's unbelievable. The AI analytics, the call transcriptions, the call recordings, the lead AI data like scoring. So Glencoco has algorithms that will score the calls and segment lists, and it's unbelievable, the technology, and of course like the executive reporting for, like your pipeline and all that. Deals won, the integrations into everything, basically integrates with any CRM, integrates with. All right, that's a lie. They integrate with HubSpot and Salesforce natively right now. HubSpot and Salesforce. Okay, if you're using a different one, you probably have to do some zaps or whatever, but it's all possible. These guys are wicked smart, and it's really unlocked scale for the first early adopters. So it's an exciting wave to ride along. Really a rocket ship, I would say, for a lot of these agencies. So we're just getting started. Now is the most exciting time to be a part of the ecosystem. I'm going to be saying that probably for the next 5 years, 10 years, because it just keeps getting better and better. So, and we get to run alongside, killers like Joseph here. So it's been a real blessing, and excited for the future, man.
Yeah, very, very happy to be here again. Thank you for having me here, you guys. Shout out to all of RSN. It's been a wonderful journey here so far. And like Mike has said, I'll echo it. We're just getting started.
Yeah,
We're just getting started.
All right, until next time. See if you can load up the button. We're not Fox News, so you don't get all the polished broadcast thing. So not yet. And bear with us. We're gonna do more live sessions. If you guys are enjoying this, be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe to our YouTube, and engage with us to show like you want more of this. We do a lot of this internally, but I think we should do more kind of public, kind of live stuff.
For sure.
Because I think this is, and it's just fun. It's just fun too. So, but over time, we're going to do more sessions. Bear with us. We'll probably have tech issues. We'll probably, until we get $1 million production team, it's literally, a couple of homies at the back of a, what is this? It's not a swap. We would always say swap meet at the back of
From this angle, it does actually
looks like a swap meet from the back of the swap meet. But from the RSN studios, let's freaking go. We'll see you on the board. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.